This is the monthly collective energy reading for March of 2023. The energy is finally getting moving this month. For the last 2 months, it's really been us being in the fog and not knowing what's going on with us. And I feel like this month, there's going to be so many more answers for you. You're going to feel like you're in a place that is more centered. This month is all about centering in your authenticity. So you're going to be shown all the ways in which you show up in your life fake, not in your authenticity, having to do an act, having to take care of somebody else. What are the ways in which you show up in your life where you are not taking care of yourself? And the message is really healthy selfishness, healthy self-esteem. As this energy is getting going, I really feel like there are going to be some big shifts. Some of us are having things removed from our lives that are not good for us. There is a really revolutionary energy in the air. It's hard to describe. It's an energy that wants to uproot everything. It wants to tear away all the things that are not working. And in some ways, that's so beautiful because it is creating a new fertile soil on which that we're going to build new and better things. Part of the energy that's in the air is uprooting and removing things that are not working for you in your life. So the example that I can think of is if you continue to take part in a job that is sucking away your soul, burning you out, not useful for the planet, that job is going to be taken away from you and you will be put into financial insecurity for a short period of time. And the meaning of this is to allow you to build something new. And you may not have had the courage within you to remove that job from your life, but it was absolutely something that you needed. The same thing is going to happen with some relationships in your life that are not helpful, not useful, a drain on your energy. People in readings all the time with me talk about, oh, I have so much history with this person. I really, I want to keep this relationship going because we've been friends for so long. And I say, does this person make you feel good? So stuff like that. Removing things that are not working. The time for action is this month, beginning now and continuing throughout the spring. If you think about the themes of spring, it is that we are getting moving, we're starting to grow, we're showing new shoots. And that's what this energy feels like right now. So theme number 1 is reclaiming yourself. Where is your practice in self-love? What is the point of your life? Who are you? If I were to ask, what are you here for? Or who are you? What would be your response? A lot of us have been living lives for the last few years, maybe our entire life, based on someone else's identity. And this is definitely something that is ding, 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 that's for me. I have lived a life in which I made my identity about other people and would build things with other people and then realized that they were not me. I did the same thing in business and career, building things around me that were ultimately not me. And then I would show up for them and say, wow, I really have to do an act. I don't like this. And so the current collective energy is really going to help you get in alignment. And the way that it's going to help you get in alignment is the things that are not in alignment with who you are going to start to fall away. Also, a piece of this is not knowing what you want. I have people all the time who come to me and say, I do not know what I want. And that always speaks to a disconnectedness with our body. We are reconnecting to our authenticity. And it's no wonder that we let our authenticity go. We always let our authenticity go if it comes between us and survival. And so often We are asked to survive in this world against our better instincts. So, an example of that is you're someone who needs to sleep in until 9 a.m., but guess what? You have a job that requires you to wake up at 7 a.m., and that goes against what you really need in your body. And so you will cancel out your own needs every single time in order to fulfill what the world needs from you. And that's such a small example because we say, oh, well, we can train our body to wake up at 7 a.m., but there are some things that we cannot train our body to do or are detrimental to our being if we continue to violate them over and over and over again. And that's how we end up in burnout. And so for those of you who are super burned out and feeling super divorced from yourself, not knowing what you want, not knowing who you are, the energy of March is going to help you get in more alignment with that. And I would say whether you like it or not, because a lot of you are not going to like the way that it comes into your life, but can you trust that that's a really healthy and needed process for you? Theme number 2 is getting moving. So March is starting a quickening process that we're going to experience through the rest of the spring. And it's a really beautiful energy. If you feel like you know what you might want to start doing, now is absolutely the time to start making those steps. In January and February, I had a word of caution to you. If you don't know, it's okay not to move right now because the energy is like sludge. So the energy is moving more quickly right now. This energy has a lot of emotion in it. It's so messy, but it's messy in like a good way, in the way that the water is messy and it just drips through our compartmentalized places, through our blockages, and just releases and opens us up. How can you open your heart more this month? Can you pay attention to when you are closed? This is the natural course of the opening. The start of this energy, of this movement, is with the water. What ways have you gotten super comfortable in your life? Because Spirit is saying that we've all gotten a little too comfortable in our misery. A lot of us are stuck. An example is like financially stuck. So you make a lot of money, but you hate your job, right? You feel stuck in this prison of what you believe that you need to do to be okay. We've all gotten very comfortable, and there's a really like a low effort aspect to this. Part of why we're so comfortable is because there is not a lot of effort to keep this up. Also could be in relationships. Not a lot of effort to keep this relationship up, but it is so old and dead, and really want to get moving and going. And so it is time for you to start making some baby steps out of what you don't want. So moving outside your comfort zone intentionally, and also making some baby steps into what you want. The best way to do this initially is to emotionally commit to the thing that you're going towards. The identity starts to get wrapped up into this. So, who am I? What do I want? Where am I going? The energy of January and February kept us still so we could listen. And now the energy of March is saying, okay, let's get going. I felt us really cross a portal in the energy at the end of February. So around 222 or 223, I was seeing tons of angel numbers. I mean, probably 20 a day. 333, 444, 555. The communication was, we are crossing an energetic portal. Behind this portal is the energy of stuckness, oldness, waiting, listening, observing. After this portal, it is taking steps forward, movement, and claiming the energy that we want and the circumstances that we want. And this is very fertile soil for you to start to plant the seeds. Some of us are in a bit of a study time. So we're studying and learning the new skills that we will be getting. Others of us are starting to implement those skills and in new ways, and to build businesses and to build expertise. So all of this is around building the new life that you want. It just depends kind of where you're at on this journey. We're all in a little bit of a different spot. Theme 3 is letting everything down. So whatever you have been holding up, the best course of action right now would be to let it down, let it be destroyed. I would remind you that whatever you're holding that feels unsustainable for you is very bad for your energy, very bad for your health. You will help Spirit bring the new energy into your life the more that you can let down what you don't need to be doing. A very good example of this for me is that I always feel underneath other people's expectations, and I have a very hard time operating on my own time and my own expectations because I feel like I have to meet everybody else's needs first in a professional setting. And so there is a ton of fear in the way of you actually fulfilling this principle or this step. And so recognizing the fear in the moment when I say, let everything down that is getting in the way of you doing what you need to do, or you doing what you need to do sustainably. That could be asking for help. I would remind you that you do not have to carry all of your responsibilities alone. I see people getting into the trap of constantly putting out more than they have and burning themselves out through the beliefs that they have about their life, how they're going to be okay. And some people really believe that they have to take care of other people in relationship in this way. Other people believe that they have to do it for their job. They have to burn themselves out so that they'll be okay for their job. And it's really important for you to claim what you need to do. One of the ways that I experience this in life is needing to be a functioning member of society. And I have a brain that doesn't always function for society. It is unreliable for that. And I have a hard time accepting that. And I will force my body and my brain to perform. And it is absolutely unhealthy for me. And that really goes back to claiming your self-esteem and what you need. Where have you internalized society's requirements for you? And can you let those all down so that you can live a better life? Theme number 4 is rejection, abandonment, or caring for others' wounds. So coming up in relationships this month is the tendency to feel triggered by what other people say to you, how other people interact with you, feeling rejected, feeling abandoned, or feeling like you need to take care of people and the myriad of things that can come up with that. Often what I see in people is I take care of everybody else and they never take care of me. The lesson there is stop taking care of everybody, especially the people that you feel don't take care of you. Can you request that other people take care of you? And the other pattern that goes with that pattern is usually being uncomfortable with receiving care. So if you're someone who's very comfortable taking care of other people, you are a giver. You only know how to give. And when someone gives to you, makes you feel very uncomfortable. That's not for everybody, but those wounds are going to come up in a big way, and they're going to threaten your relationships. So some of these relationships are meant to leave you, especially the relationships that are uneven in energy. I want you to stand back and look at the 50-50 contribution of energy. And if the person that you're in relationship with does not regularly give you the energy that you give them, is that something that is painful, unwanted for you? And you have all of my encouragement to seek out relationships that do that for you. There is a very big reflection or a mirror of this in business and career stuff. So some of us are dealing with this theme in relationship, can't let the relationship go even though it's hurting me. And some of us are dealing with it in career land. And it is absolutely the same spiritual lesson. It does not matter what area you're experiencing this in, it is the exact same lesson. How do I let go of something that is hurting me, that is not giving me the energy that I give it? And what do I believe about that relationship or that job that is, it's keeping me okay, right? Because I guarantee you that it is hurting you more than it is helping you. And the sooner that you can recognize that, the new energy is just going to come in and carry you off like this wonderful cruise ship. And I feel like the energy that you are going to get is just like, oh my God, why didn't I do this 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I've been sitting in this stuck, stagnant place, believing that I wasn't going to be okay if I let this go. Please let it go for your own sanity. Theme number 5 is detaching from ego consciousness. This is a really interesting theme to go with the rest of the themes this month, because the other themes are reclaiming your ego, really. And one of the things that I want to emphasize for you is that our ego is a healthy, functioning part of our system. The function that the ego has is it helps us individuate our consciousness so that we can experience ourselves as an outside self interacting with the rest of the world. And we need this separation so that we can learn certain lessons. Lessons about boundaries, lessons about limitations, lessons about giving and receiving. We can only learn these lessons through the individuated self. That's why our self-esteem, self-love is important, because it is the lens that we have for the rest of the world. So you may have heard everything that you experience in relationships, everything that you experience in the outside world is only a mirror of your experience of yourself, your relationship with yourself. So the disconnecting from the ego consciousness is meant to be a flip side of this coin. So we are normally very ego-centered, but we're ego-centered in a way that's unconscious. So unconscious ego says, what did they say about me? I need to protect myself, right? It can have a really negative, shadowy side in which I am this and they are that, and I need to fight them, I need to finger point at them, I need to defend myself. This is the part of us that is, it's more childlike, and we are meant to learn how to observe it. The Untethered Soul, great book, talks about your roommate, your inner roommate, listening to what it says and observing that roommate. Would you take advice from someone who is always changing their mind about things, who is always mentally chattering and saying things that we should do and then turning the corner and changing their mind? They are not a reliable person. Can you hear that person within yourself and realize that they are always having something to say about life, and that you don't have to take them seriously. You can draw back and view them from the outside. I see myself at the store purchasing milk. I am able to observe myself. So clearly, I'm not only the person who is there at the store purchasing the milk. Good books for this are, I already said, The Untethered Soul, also anything from Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, A New Earth, and also the work of David Hawkins. He has good stuff on YouTube. He's real old, dead now. One of the most enlightened teachers. Ram Dass also, detaching from the ego consciousness so that I can see the way that I play into my life is not really me. And that's going to give you some safety when it comes to the things that are about to be removed from your life. Because you can realize, hey, I'm not this body. I'm not this person that has accumulated all these material resources that don't actually make me happy. And so when my material resources are taken away, when my job is taken away, when there are big changes in my life, I remain centered. I still remain myself, because those things are not me. I cannot be taken away from this world. My body can be, but I am an ever-living being inside the universal consciousness. There's another aspect this month that's kind of like a mini theme, and what it is that we are all aching for community. We all want to get together, have togetherness. There's a heart searching for getting rid of this loneliness. And it's a part of the process of our awakening. And right now, we're still all in our corners. And this is supposed to be this way. We're supposed to be all in our corners doing our own work and really getting comfortable with that inner loneliness. And it has a lot to do with this recentering in self, recognizing where we have emotional issues to work on. And then, once we've done all of our work, we'll come back together. Feels more towards the fall time, where the spring is more about the quickening of the energy, the summer is about the maturation of the energy, and the fall is more about the coming back into community. It's like the time of the harvest. That's what the energy feels like to me. And here's where I tell you what to do. So this month, it's very important for you to become flexible and accepting of change, whatever that looks like for you. Whatever is being removed from your life is not supposed to be there. Don't hold on to it. Don't maintain emotional threads to it. Clip them off. Surrender. The name of the game is surrender. There's a book called Letting Go by David Hawkins that I really like. That is the energy right now. Let it go. There's a reason that you feel stuck. The second thing that you can do is connect with your self-esteem through something other than the outer ego concerns. There are things that you've been holding on to in your life for your prestige, for your reputation, that don't serve you. And there may be a chink in your reputation this month, something being taken away from you that will tarnish your reputation. Maybe something that you do that is a secret of yours that needs to be aired out so that you can have integration, that you can integrate all the parts of yourself. As much as you can, start to seat your identity in the places that are more about who you are and what you offer and your inner worthiness, the less those outer prestige reputation things are going to bother you when they come to wash out. And it could be this month, it could be the next few months, but really a seriously revolutionary energy where the things that you don't want to be exposed are going to start to get exposed. And again, you can fight it or you can let it go and say, wow, I'm embarrassed, but I am embracing my vulnerability, right? You can reframe that as a positive. I am embracing my vulnerability as a human being so that I can connect with other human beings. The third thing to do is addressing those abandonment, rejection wounds. How can you work with yourself? How can you work with a therapist? How can you do your emotional processing to let your heart release those things that it's holding on to, because they keep showing up in your life over and over again. You keep going, they said that about me and now I feel abandoned, right? Do you want to go through the rest of your life where you have to structure your life in a way that's going to protect you from not feeling abandoned at all times? It would be better for you to open up your heart, air that out, and so that when things happen in your life, you don't project that old wound onto it. It's important for that to be removed right now. It feels especially important for you to start to have friendships, and those rejection wounds are getting in the way of your healthy connecting with other human beings because you have to protect yourself at all times. Fourth thing you can do is start to take some healthy steps in the right direction. One of the things that I'm doing is I really, really want community. And so I have been spending time in my community in the places that are available to me. We have a library, we have a coffee shop within walking distance, and I go to the coffee shop and I talk to people. And I'm very awkward because I'm not used to it. I'm used to being on my technology. And that's one way that I'm practicing being in the life that I want to be in. I'm taking some slow steps towards what I want. And you can start to show the universe what you want by taking a few healthy steps in the right direction. Fifth thing you can do is intentionally opening up the heart. So there's a process that is going on with you that is not under your control. You are being opened up by the collective energy, whether you like it or not. And so to allow yourself to open, it just feels like that water is going to scoop out anything that needs to go. And you can take part in this process or you can fight it. This process is happening no matter what. So you might as well open up and get the most out of it that you can, because it is a cleansing process for you. It is probably uncomfortable, partly because you are more used to being emotionally numb. You're not as used to emotionally opening up. So intentional opening of the heart. You naturally know when you're open and when you're closed. When we're closed, we cannot receive the divine loving energy of the universe. And so start to notice when I'm interacting with friends, am I open or closed? When I'm meeting new people, am I open or closed? When I am interacting with my partner, am I open or closed? Am I unconscious or am I present to the emotional situation that's at hand? The last thing to do is to have a egolessness practice. So a mindfulness practice could be a very simple practice. One of the practices that I'm doing right now is when I hear my inner person talking to me, asking me about things, I draw a little wall. And in that wall is all of the chatter. And then I just create a little space. And I am behind the space. I am watching the thoughts happening. Visual exercises are so helpful for this. So develop your own visual exercises. You could also imagine like a green bubble going around you and all the thoughts go out here and you're just in your bubble and you're watching the thoughts. They're external to you. Any way that you can externalize this. Another way that I do this is I say, a part of me feels sad. A part of me feels angry at you. It's a way to externalize those pieces that are not me. They're usually parts of old experiences that are coming up to let me know that I have wounding around this thing. So that is the energy of March. It is, thank God, starting to move and starting to get us into the places that we need to be. And whatever is removed from you this month, I hope that you will accept it with this wonderful perspective of, oh, thank God, it's changing. Embracing the change that is coming into your life, because it is absolutely going to be positive, even if it doesn't look like it right now.